Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacciana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we have a vintage Cygnus Petrol advertising lighter that I had apparently forgotten that I had bought. We hadn't done an introduction video for this lighter yet. I've shown it off, I believe, in a short collection video and a couple alcohol videos. This is the Canadian Club Whisky. GETZ Brothers and Company, Japan. Then with the CC in parentheses. For Canadian Club Whisky. Very cool lighter that I bought in a lot. I believe it was 4 lighters. The aluminum block lighter that we had here recently. Very cool, heavy lighter. High polish, finish. There was a plastic butane lighter that is refillable that works pretty good, and we've been putting to use down at the Deep Deuce Studios. You know, I don't get eaten up when I run across a Cygnus lighter that I can't afford, and that happens often. There are a few of them on eBay that are listed at prices that to me are just ridiculous, and I'm not going, there's just no way I would ever be able to own one of those lighters anywhere near that price. So sometimes you just got to let it go. But then there are other times where you let one pass simply because you don't know how good a condition it's in, or as this one, it was in that group with 4 other lighters. You can see here that the spare flint compartment is clear and has one of Robert Hollingsworth's flints inside of it. I need to get around to putting that link to that seller on the Hopeful Lighter Related Links page at dependableflame.com. Anyway, sometimes you look at a listing over and over and over, and then I believe I got an offer, a seller's offer, and it still wasn't quite good enough price, but that expired, or I passed on it and then nobody else bought it, and so I went ahead and sent another offer, and I'm very glad I did. This lighter is missing some of its paint. Here you can see the typical Cygnus flint tension mechanism with the thumb roller. It has its own flint spring carriage. The lighter has some wear and some paint loss, but I collect Cygnus lighters, so of course I want to add every variation that I can for a reasonable price, but I'm just not going to overpay for them. As much as I love accumulating them, and as much as I look forward to adding new examples, there's going to be a limit. And of course, as I did with the table lighter there, a lot of times I'll trade rather than buy it. The lot that I purchased this in also included a really strange looking flip top lighter that is not an insert type. It is a closed tank lighter, and the fuel screw on it is marked D and Company. So we'll have a video on that lighter soon as well. So those 4 lighters, can't remember, I ended up paying $18 for the 4 of them. And add this one to my collection. That'll make it one of the more affordable ones if you divided that evenly, less than $5. And then a pretty good reusable butane lighter. Like I said, has been put to regular use over the last couple months than the high polish finish aluminum block lighter and the D & Company. And it was adding this lighter to my collection that really convinced me, yeah, I should go ahead and keep the Beefeater Gin, Stewart's, Lapert Licores table lighter. I certainly wouldn't be passing on that if it was a regular size pocket lighter, or a small size pocket lighter for that matter either. Nothing wrong with having 2 table lighters in my collection. It's difficult for me sometimes. Part of me that wants to collect it all. There's part of me that feels like I shouldn't be collecting any of it. But the allure of these Cygnus lighters for me is that I can collect them for a relatively small price. Usually when I purchase a group of lighters that has one in them, then I'm going to make money off the other lighters, and it's like I'm getting the lighter that goes into my collection for free. I'm more and more convinced that Cygnus lighters are impervious to vapor lock. They just light every time. Doesn't matter how wet the wick is, they light. Awesome lighters. I'm not trying to convince more of you to collect them. I'm not trying to make it more difficult for myself. But this is just a really cool lighter that I get really excited about. When I was growing up, people used to call the Opel GT the poor man's Corvette. Well, I would take that analogy and apply it here and say that the Cygnus is the poor man's roller light. Very elegant, well designed, and functioning lighter that can be used and purchased and collected for very affordable prices. Until next time.